Players with worse aim, positioning, everything are all ranking up faster than you and winning more games just because they understand these few fundamental things about the game. So in this episode of Shotty Yap Session, that's what we're going to talk about. And if you guys are new here, this is a series where I yap about a topic and you guys turn me on in the background while you do something else. Or if you really want to, you can watch the mid gameplay. Let's get right into it. Now, besides just playing, I don't know, a melee character to rank up, it's like, who needs aim? I could just punch people. Besides that, people understand this game in a few different ways, and it makes it so easy to rank up because you don't actually have to get kills. You don't have to do a lot of damage. You don't have to do a lot to rank up in this game, except for maybe at the upper echelon, like when you're Celestial 1 up to top 500 and all that. Then yeah, you need a little bit more than just game sense or understanding of the game. But first thing I'm going to talk about is the numbers game of this game. People understand that numbers in this game are really all that matters. Unless someone has like a freak play or a crazy ultimate or something, numbers is all that matters. So let's say 5 of us are alive and 6 of them are alive. It's probably a loss, Obviously, when it's that close together, it might not be a loss, but I'm just generalizing here so you guys get the idea. When you understand something like that, you're able to play around it more. That's why you see in higher ranks people push up so much because you can stagger kills, you can do a lot more, and you can make it so that the enemy team basically never has a fair fight the whole game. Funny enough, I didn't actually finish the video because I was busy and I forgot to watch back, but there was an awesome video by, I think, Death in Gaming. He's a smaller YouTuber, but he made a great video. And it was him VOD reviewing his gameplay. And he was talking about how just a little bit of staggering made it so that they never had a fair fight ever again. And the enemy team just lost from the first fight. I plan on making a full staggering video because he kind of inspired me to do one. But if I remember, I'll link his video in the description so you guys can go check that one out. Because it was pretty good and it only got like 5,000 views. Or it was at least the part that I watched was good. I watched like 1/4 or half of it. But he's right. He was able to show that he won a game from the first fight pretty much. Because he would keep pushing up or the enemy team would keep pushing up. And they'd push in groups of 1, 2, 3. And the enemy team or their team had groups of 6. So it was a free win. It turned into a 3v6, a 2v6, a 1v6, and they constantly kept that pressure. And that's why in higher ranks, you'll also see not a ton of people on cart, but they'll see people pushed up near their enemy team spawn because they're chasing kills so that they never have a fair fight. Because let's say I just wiped 4 of their teammates. If I wait 15 seconds, their teammates just respawned and are on their way back. Then I kill the other 2 that I didn't kill before. So now the 4 people coming back, it's going to be only those 4. It's going to be a 4v6, right? You see what I'm doing? You keep it so they never have a fair fight ever again. And people talk about, oh, the scoreboard or this or that. Now, I think the scoreboard isn't as important as a lot of people think, but I also don't think it's as useless as some people think. Some people like to say, oh no, it doesn't show anything, it's useless, you could have this and that and blah blah blah. I think it's a cope for people that are bad and they want to, no, my stats don't matter. But then you look at their stats and they have 30 deaths and it's like, come on, I can't defend you. You know what I mean? But stats matter to a certain extent, but you don't even need kills to do half of what I'm going to talk about in this video. Or I guess the next point specifically, you don't really need kills at all to do it. But before we get to that point, how do you stagger? How do you do this? In Overwatch 2, or Overwatch 1 specifically, because who plays 2? You would purposely, if you got to wipe the whole enemy team, you wouldn't kill the last person, especially if they had no movement abilities, right? Let's say a Mantis. A Mantis has to walk out of battle, and all she can do is sleep people. A Mantis you would leave alive for a while just because she can't get away. She can't get back to her team. So if we kill her late, she'll be respawning late. And either the enemy team has to wait for her, or if they don't wait for her, we just win that fight because they're down a healer and we just win. So looking for opportunities like that you can just take advantage of a person or take advantage of a kill that you might not have gotten, or you might be able to stall to make it so the enemy team doesn't have a fair fight. Delaying your kills, killing people whenever it's an unfair fight for them, doing stuff like that will win more games just because you don't actually have to be good. A 6v6 you have to be good in. It's more about who does what right. But if you're doing a 4v6, who cares? You could just barrel stuff them and win. Unless they use ultimate ultimates well, which is less likely. Now, the next point is talking about pressure. I mentioned it in the past, but half the time, you don't need to get kills to be useful. Now, I think this is a caveat to this because in lower ranks, most people won't take advantage of it. But let's say you're a tank or a Psylocke or Black Panther. You dive the enemy's backline and you attack them, and one healer has to heal the other healer while that other healer has to heal the other one. So they're both healing each other or panicking or running away from you. So the guy on the front line, their tank, the enemy team's tank, dies for free because he has no healing. And you might not have killed anyone in that situation, but you're the reason why you guys won the fight because you stopped the healers from healing, right? Everyone talks about kill the healers, shoot the healers. You don't need to kill them. Yeah, it would be better if you did, but pressuring them alone, shooting at them, scaring them. I can't tell you how many times, even as a DPS, I'd have a Psylocke in the backline, and I'm afraid because I'll hear her go invis, and I'll stop what I'm shooting, looking around like, oh God, no, please, please don't kill me. And even if she sits there and invis is behind a wall and just sits there the whole time, she had impact because she pulled my attention away from the front line. She stopped me from doing damage. And she can have that same impact on healers, which is something that a lot of people don't realize. They're all so caught up in scoreboard, kills, but just pressure. And the reason why I thought about this to make a video is because I was coaching someone the other day and they were a tank. And I asked him, I was like, why didn't you jump in there? Why didn't you attack the healers? And he said to me, because I couldn't kill them. I didn't think I'd be able to kill them. And I had to think for a second. I was like, well, yeah, probably not, but it's still the better play, right? Because he was sitting there punching the hell out of a Doctor Strange. Like, no matter how much damage he did, Doctor Strange was still almost full health. And it's because their healers were doing so well and they were uncontested, right? They had no pressure on them, literally zero. So even if he just jumped in and put his big Hulk behind in his face, it would work, right? You don't even need to attack them. Just your giant Hulk body, or let's say Doctor Strange body, your shield or whatever, blocks healing. It stops them from being able to do their job. And that's all we want to do, right? DPS shooting the healers stops them from doing their job. And that's all the goal is. Yes, kill them if you can, but you don't need to. Now, your teammates are going to flame you for it, even if it's their fault, because a lot of people don't understand the game. And they're just like, well, you didn't kill the healers, even though the healers were like running away from you the whole game. You were in their backline the whole time. They're hunting you down. But since you didn't kill them, your team thinks you threw. Listen, I've heard it all. Even when I'm learning a new role, it's so annoying listening to people say stuff. And it's like, I'm right, but they don't understand the game, so I'm wrong. You know, one time I was pushing up and I was doing the staggering that I was talking about. And we had like 3 people on cart. I knew I wasn't going to die, and I didn't die. I pushed up, I killed a healer, and the whole time while I was pushing up, I had people in my ear saying, stop pushing, back up, we're too far up. Mind you, no one's alive. It's just this one healer alive, and I'm a tank. Like, what are we talking about? If I lose to a healer as a tank, I should delete the game, and that's a skill issue. That's a personal problem, all right? That's not oh, well, I pushed up too far. That's a skill issue, right? But people don't realize that there is a time to push and there is a time to be passive. It's just learning that time is the hard part. Now, the third and last point that I like to make about how it's so much easier to climb if you understand it is ult combos. No, wait, don't click off, all right? Oh, listen, I know my ult combos already. I get it, right? But the thing is, a lot of us aren't with a team. A lot of us don't have that group duo and we're Moon Knight so we can just wipe everybody. So you need to start watching your teammates' ults, watching their cooldowns, watching all that, and pay attention to it to see when you should do what. Like in Overwatch 1, actually, I can't really use that example because I don't know how many people played it. But let's say Groot, right? A Groot ult, I know he has it, or I know he's charging it, and I'm Moon Knight. I would be able to either check how long it takes him to get his ult and use my ult once before he gets his, then charge up a second one to combo with him, just so I would get maximum uptime and I wouldn't be sitting on an ultimate for a solid 3 minutes. And a lot of people, they get so caught up in ult combos that they're just like, no, I can't use it. I have to hold it. I have to wait for him. But if you can charge 3 ults before they get one, why are we sitting on the first one we got? You see what I mean? And a lot of people do that. A lot of people aren't actually watching the combos that they're looking for, and they don't realize that maybe their Groot is charging an ultimate super slow, so maybe we should burn ours a few times before we wait for the combo. Or your Groot is at 95%. We see him at it, and we pop our ult anyways. Both of those have happened a ton, and it throws us. It'll throw our rank ups, it'll throw the free climb we would have had, and it's unnecessary, right? But it's a lack of paying attention. Now, on top of paying attention to our team's ults, as a DPS player or a tank, you want to be, actually, I guess strategist too, because you want to learn how to combo it and counter theirs. So yeah, as every role, you should be watching the enemy team's ultimates, because especially their healer ultimates, specifically the healer ultimate that I'm thinking of, because let's say you're Star-Lord. You got your ultimate before everyone in the lobby, but you don't pop it because, I don't know, there's a risk of a healer ult. Even if there's a risk, you would rather pop a suboptimal ult to guarantee a kill or two than wait till they have their ultimate so they just pop it and completely counter you and kill you. So you have to be thinking, how fast do I get this? How fast did I get this? How fast did the enemy get theirs? Or how long until they do get it, right? Looking at stuff like that will help a ton. So you want to be able to look at that, you want to be able to watch that, and you want to be able to find out what's the most optimal way I can use my cooldowns, my ultimate, my abilities to win. And this even works for damage abilities, right? If they have a Scarlet Witch, you want to wait for her to use her invises before you do certain things, right? You don't want to just pop your whole load, she just invises and then she kills you. Now, this Yap session was on the shorter side, but if you guys enjoyed it, check out this Yap session, or if you guys want my coaching, check out the top link in the description. Have a good one, everyone. God bless you.